Good morning and welcome to the Royal Oak Bowling Club here in Auckland, where it's finals day of the 10th Royal Oak Triples, the $20,000 Triples, two-bowl Triples event, which got underway on Friday. A full field of 32 teams lined up here at the Royal Oak Bowling Club. Perfect weather here today on finals day, and we're down to the semi-finals of both the plate and the semi-final of the main event. And we'll be bringing you throughout the day full coverage of this. First game we're going to cover is the semi-final of the plate, that between Olivia Bloomfield of Auckland and Taylor Horn of Okato in Taranaki. And running through this morning's results in the quarterfinals in the maiden event, we saw the Aidan Takarawa skip side defeat Graham Skillern by 15 shots to 8. Simon Poppleton up against Danny Delaney's side, and a very, very narrow win there, the Danny Delaney side by 11 shots to 10. So in the top of the draw, the semi-final in the main event, we'll see Aidan Takarawa of Auckland up against Danny Delaney of the host club here at Royal Oak. In the bottom half of the draw, Don Faifua of Auckland was up against David Clark of Manuera, and it was Clark running out the winner by 18 shots to 8. And the other semi-final previous winner, Ashley Jeffcoat and Kimberly Hemingway and Richard Hocking, they were up against the Kevin Morris side, and Jeffcoat ran out the winner by 18 shots to 10, and they now are playing their semi-final game against David Clark. That game is underway. In the plate in the quarterfinals this morning, we had Bart Robertson up against David Eads, Martin Dixon of Royal Oak up against David Akarua, also of Royal Oak, Jamie Hill of Auckland up against former New Zealand player Tony Grantham, and Teo Terua of Auckland up against Olivia Bloomfield. And Bloomfield running out the winner, and Tony Grantham defeating Jamie Hill, David Akarua defeating Martin Dixon, and Bart Robertson defeating David Eads. So the semi-finals in the plate see Bart Robertson up against David Akarua and Tony Grantham up against Olivia Bloomfield, and that's the game that we're going to bring to you as they're playing their first in right out in front of us. And beautiful conditions here, looking down towards the lovely Rose Garden here at the Royal Oak Club course. Formerly that the only Hunger Bowling Club it was, and a few years back merged with Hillsborough and formed the Royal Oak Club, two green club, two natural surface greens, and I believe this natural surface green out in front of us here will be the last year of this particular green, or it's going to be converted into a covered type complex here, as so many clubs in Auckland are doing now. And the Taylor Horn side, consisting of, just get through the playing order for you. We've got Tony Grantham leading at 2. We've got at 2 is Jeremy Brosnan of North Harbour, and in the Olivia Bloomfield side, we've got leading for them is Catherine Bean, and at number 2 is the World Under 25 singles champion Paris Baker is playing at number 2. So the first innings completed here in this semi-final, and two very, very good sides. And this is one of those events to, if you make your way through, you've done pretty well, because it certainly is a very, very strong field here. Former New Zealand players and players come from right down in the South Island to be part of this $20,000 event. And some famous winners of the past, like Mike Kernahan, Gary Lawson, to name but a couple. And of course the side of Olivia Bloom, the Ashley Jeffcoat side, previous winner, and they're here again playing in the semi-final. So on the first end, we saw the side of Olivia Bloomfield side. They opened the scoring with a 1. And you'll see right in front of us here, playing up towards us, the clubhouse or commentary end here, as I watch Catherine Bean on the backhand. Of course, current Auckland player is Bean. 15 ends, no time limit on the back end. You can see there's a bit of wind blowing through there. Certainly not what I'd call excessive wind. The being bowled just breaking low the jack by about a metre. The first bowler, Tony Grantham, went by a couple of metres. So here Grantham now on his forehand. Definitely the Olivia Bloomfield side holding shot as we watch this bowler Grantham just breaking under the head. Is it going to get through to the jack? No, it's not. Just gets a feather off that front bowl, leaving the Olivia Bloomfield side holding shot. Bloomfield, of course, formerly played here at Onehunga, or Royal Oak, sorry, and also represented the Niue Islands Commonwealth Games back in 2010. As you watch this bowler, Paris Baker, break towards the head, perfectly weighted bowl, is going to sit jack level, about 18 inches, just right alongside the jack. Jeremy Brosnan from the Takapuna Club, North Harbour. 2 bowl triples, no time limit, so it's a fairly quick game. Here's Brosnan with the sunglasses on, the bucket hat. Endeavouring to try and draw the shot. He's going to go by a couple of metres. You can see the whitest coloured bowl and the charcoal dotted covered bowl of Tony Grantham's sitting 2 metres behind the head as we watch Paris Baker now play her second bowl on this, the second end, leading 1-0 after scoring a 1 on the very first end. Another good looking bowl coming in here from Baker, just going to get past the front bowler Tony Grantham as it does, leaves them laying 3 shots. The Olivia Bloomfield skip side. So Jeremy Brosnan now trying to adjust that weight. Looks to be on a better line with this bowl. Taylor Horn's interested in this bowl as it breaks towards the head, but it's not going to have enough weight to get all the way through to where those counting bowls are. And in fact, will finish right on the centre line and will be a good 1.5 metres short of the jack. So the skips change over. And it will be Olivia Bloomfield to play first. Just a reminder, those other quarter semi-finals underway in the plate. The other semi-final, Bart Robertson up playing David Akaroa. And in the main event, Aidan Takarawa playing Danny Delaney, and David Clark up against Ashley Jeffcoat. So here is Bloomfield playing on her forehand, walks away from that. That's looks to be very wide. Taylor Horn, of course, former New Zealand singles winner, won the New Zealand singles here in Auckland, 2019. So Taylor Horn trying to make amends. Jeremy Brosnan is obscuring that view. And you'll see the bowl of Taylor Horns fell lower the jack, so can Olivia Bloomfield adjust with this, her second bowl. Looks to have adjusted the line. A break early towards the head though, and it needs to get a slide, and does get a generous slide, and will count. So here now is Taylor Horn playing with a lot of weight to try and reach up to the shot bowl. He's going to sit on the shot bowl but go all the way by with weight. And I'll wait till the signal comes. Definitely 3, maybe 4 in fact to Olivia Bloomfield. Just wait till that board changes. May have cut one bowl out, that last bowl of Taylor Horns. But certainly you went with weight to get to the jack. It was narrow on the line. And in fact it was a 3. 3 to Olivia Bloomfield, so they jump out to a 4-0 lead. And I can tell you that I'll have someone throughout the morning, we'll get someone to give us the updates of those other semi-finals, which are, some have been played out in front of us here, and we'll get you the updates of those throughout the morning. Get someone to run around the boards. So Jack was being delivered by Catherine Bean, but through the Jack, right through to the ditch. So therefore, it's re-delivered by Tony Grantham, which he has done. You'll see it there, just lower the 2 metre mark, but half a metre lower the 2 metre. So a pretty full length head. The mat is quite a way back. So here is Catherine Bean, very, very deliberate player. St Heliers Club in Auckland on the backhand, playing down to this 3/4 length head. Breaking in towards the head now. Good opening bowl from Catherine Bean. Sits right on the centre line, just lower the Jack. Great opening bowl there. Certainly making Tony Grantham, the former New Zealand player and of course New Zealand title holder, making him work. And this looks a pretty good bowl at Grantham's here as it's breaking in towards the head. Going to get right down to the Jack, is it? Yes, it will. And gets a touch on the Jack, moves it off the centre line. Just sits lower the 2 metre mark now, but definitely Tony Grantham holding shot. So Catherine Bean will follow that on her backhand. Perfect conditions here. No wind, absolutely superb conditions here at Royal Oak. And it's great to see this, the 10th running of this Royal Oak Triples. We're getting no weather interruption, and the full 3 days play will be completed without any disruption, which is always good. So here is Tony Grantham playing his second bowl, and it's going to be narrow for sure, and come way lower the centre line after playing such a good bowl with his first. So number 2, Paris Baker now, she'll come to her backhand and endeavour to get down past those front bowls. See what that line looks like in but a moment. Looks it's going to just sit out slightly on the wider side, coming back behind the head though. As long as it stays up, would be a pretty handy bowl, and will stay up. Just sits right underneath the number 3. Just sits right dead in front of the line. It's got right back to the centre line. So now Jeremy Brosnan trying to add to the Grantham count, will no doubt play on his forehand where there's nothing to run into. That's exactly what he's doing. Just needs to come past the front bowls. It would most likely count, but it looks to have a wee bit too much weight on. And will stay on board right under the 2 metre mark. And Olivia Bloomfield indicating you've got a metre on that backhand side to Paris Baker to draw the shot. Just the one down is the Olivia Bloomfield skip side. See if she can adjust on that weight. Line looks fairly good. It comes down towards the head. It's a great attempt here by the young player, Tongan representative. Just going to finish lower the Jack by half a metre, and it'll be just the 1. So Brosnan again now on his forehand. Certainly had a good line, just weight was a bit on the heavy side. And this looks a better weighted bowl. It comes down towards the head now on that forehand side. Just needs to get another metre of running, and will do, and that counts for sure. That's 2 shots to the Taylor Horn skip side, and this is the semi-final of the plate, the Royal Oak $20,000 triples. And please, if you're watching this coverage and enjoying it, share it with your friends, and I'm sure they'll enjoy the watch as well. Perfect conditions, no wind, sun streaming down. It was in the old days here when this was that the only Hunger Club. It was in fact in the years gone by, believe it or not, a 5 green club, and now just and rightly a 2 green club. The houses that you can see as we watch Bloomfield on the drive, trying to make contact with the shot bowls, and got one. In fact, will kill it. Be a replay of this end. So the houses that you can see in behind the green there, They were, in fact, there was a green sitting there, and just out to the side of them was, in fact, what used to be termed as the winter green. And on the right here of the commentary box, which is now the car park, there was, in fact, another green here, there as well in years gone by. Onehunga, of course, in its heyday, hosted a membership in excess of 300 members. Very, very strong club. The late Robert R.L. McDonald, Frank Livingston, another iconic New Zealand player. Murray Davis, of course, who won 2 New Zealand Fours titles. Robin Andrew, who represented New Zealand. And then in latter years, players like Danny Delaney, who represented New Zealand, of course, at the Delhi Games in 2010. Mike Kernahan played here. Peter Thorne, Krista Leave, who are now, of course, based at the Musgrave Hills Club in Australia. And just, in fact, last weekend won the Gold Coast Mixed Pairs on an extra end. And so there's a number of really, really top players have been part of this, what was the Onehunga Club, now the Royal Oak Club. Tony Grantham, in fact, who's just delivered his bowl on this the replay of the third end, was also a former Onehunga member. As we watch his first bowl, just break low of the jack, and will pull up about 18 inches low of the jack for shot. Catherine Bean on her backhand. Lovely rose garden in the back of between the boundary, on the boundary fence there. Well kept by a number of hard-working members here at Royal Oak, who make sure that the grounds and the surrounds here always presented well here at Royal Oak. So here is Tony Grantham on the forehand. It's just slightly under the line. Needs to run into his own front bowl. Just going to miss it. It will sit on the jack level bowl. It does, and sits just slightly higher. The jack would count. Definitely 2 shots. So Bloomfield was on that third end. This is the replay after Olivia Bloomfield killed the end. And as Paris Baker got enough weight, certainly had a great line to get down to where the jack is. It's lower the 2 metre mark. It, in fact, finished a metre short. So here now is Jeremy Brosnan on his backhand, with Tony Grantham holding 2 shots and plenty of room. This looks a fairly good bowl here from Brosnan. Is it going to get all the way down to the counting area? No, it's not. In fact, falls a metre short, and so Paris Baker will now come on that backhand. Definitely can't play the forehand because of those short bowls in front there. We'll run into them. So here is the world under 25. Won the world singles in the UK indoors, and is going to come way short of the line, and ideal opportunity here for Jeremy Brosnan to put a counter in for sure. There's plenty of room on the backhand is Brosnan. Looks on a good arc this bowl. Just question how heavy it's going to be though. It looks to be going by. It might still count. No, it goes by like 1.5 meters. Sits on the centre line, but won't count. Olivia Blomfield having a good look at the head. Well, you don't have to look too hard, really, Olivia. You just got to get down there on the backhand and draw the shot. Come round that front bowl of Jeremy Brosnan's, and you'll have the shot. You can see the green that Onehunga certainly at Royal Oak get into the end of the season appearance. Still running very, very well, around 16 seconds. But of course, the maintenance program starts very shortly on these greens. So here is now Olivia Bloomfield, definitely 2 down on the head, leading 4-0. Looks a good bowl here from Bloomfield as it breaks in towards their head. You've got to get past this front bowl of Tony Grantham's. Not quite, just falls lower that, but certainly second shot, that's for sure. Taylor Horn, the tall New Zealand singles player, or former New Zealand singles title holder, played in the New Zealand development side. And going to go by with weight. If he didn't get a touch on the jack, it wouldn't be harmful to the Taylor Horn side because they've got the back bowls for sure. So here's Olivia Bloomfield trying to draw the shot. Definitely got second shot. It's going to go by. So chance here for Taylor Horn on this completion of the third end to add to the count. And I can see his teammates there endeavouring to try and get it to slow down. Not going to do so. And just the one. It's the 1-2. Taylor Horn takes Olivia Bloomfield leading by 4 shots to 1. And I can tell you in the semi-finals in the main event, after 3 ends, it is Aidan Takarawa that is leading Danny Delaney by 3 shots to 1. Aidan Takarawa leading Danny Delaney 3-1. And David Clark and Ashley Jeffcoat, that's all locked up 4 all after 3 ends, 3 of the 15 ends. And it is all locked up. I just see though that there's the board about to be changed there, but we'll bring that in our next update. And in the other semi-final of the plate, Bart Robinson skip side up against David Akarawa of the Royal Oak Club. It is Bart Robinson that is leading 2-1. So we'll continue to bring you those updates throughout this semi-final as we see the first bowl of Tony Grantham just finished low of the jack. Good crowd. I know the good crowd inside here as well at Royal Oak as we watch this bowl of Catherine Beans. It's going to be low of the jack, sitting on a good line, be the shot for sure. Grantham there trying to improve on his last, just to beat that Catherine Bean bowl. Looks on a good line on the way down, good out of the hand. How's the weight though? Is it going to hold all the weight of the jack? It'd still be lower the centre, going to finish on the centre line, but still lower the jack, still a metre low, so still Catherine Bean now got the opportunity on that backhand just to drop inside that. Bean, of course, was part of the Auckland women's side that won the National Intercenter here in Auckland in 2019. Played in the Peers and had good results at a number of Australian Open, New Zealand Championships. Very competitive player. And watch this bowl. It's going to finish slightly low of the jack, but in front of the Tony Grantham low bowls. Definitely be the shot. So that's 2 shots for sure. Brosnan now. So they played on Friday here. They played 4 rounds of round robin section play, and then the 3 rounds yesterday. And the top 2 from each section made their way through into the finals. And then the next 2, of course, in the plate. Jeremy Brosnan's going to be lucky here. Had a wee bit of weight on. Taylor Horn appreciated that. He could see that. Ran into just got to the inside of the bowl of the Bloomfield bowl and made shot of it. So Olivia Bloomfield saying to Paris Baker, come down here on your forehand, draw into the port. Got that delivery, Paris Baker, where she pushes the bowl out at the last minute in a delivery. Just a minor technical matter which there's like a wee bit of adjustment on, just enhance her lines to the jack. It's just a very small point. Very, very good player, exceptionally good player. So here is Brosnan on the backhand. So there's a number of very, very strong sides going into that last round, whereby the last round result meant so much to qualify. We saw the team there, Bronwyn Stevens and Roger Stevens of North East Valley, of course, runners-up recently in the Somerset National Mixed Pairs in Central Otago. They failed to make their way. Through as William Bennett, another good combination from the Frankton Club, Frankton Junction Club in Wellington. And of course Jamie Hill didn't qualify for the main event, just got through to the plate. So did Martin Dixon, of course, who played in the Royal Oak in the Bowls 3-5. As we see the bowl of Olivia Bloomfield slide through with weight, definitely one shot to the Taylor Horn skip combination. So you see the second bowl, last bowl of Taylor Horns on this, the fourth end, with Bloomfield leading by 4 shots to 1. This looks a good bowl, this one of Taylor Horns, and will be, finishes just higher the jack and will count. So it looks as though Olivia Bloomfield is still going to try and reach through there on the backhand side, looking for the jack, searching for the jack with weight, raking to the jack. Hard shots to play. These greens, here it is on the backhand. There's Bloomfield playing with a lot more weight. This looks to be right under the line. It's going to collect the bowl of Jeremy Brosnan's in and just pushed it through the head. And we'll still lay 2 shots to the Taylor Horn skip side. Jack's been delivered by Tony Grantham right down to the 2 metre mark. And it's the Olivia Bloomfield side who is leading by 4 shots to 3. 4 shots to 3 after 4 of the 15 ends. I can tell you I can just see it out the corner of my eye here. The David Clark combination. And Ashley Jeffcoat 6 shots to 4 after 4 of the 15 ends. So here now we see Grantham again on the mat. On the forehand. Leading by 4 shots to 3. And there you'll see the jack's been moved right off the centre line, playing down to the scrim here, which they've got in front just to protect a wee bit more. Had some green issues there, so they put the scrim. Catherine Bean moved the jack with her first, with, let's say, the bowl ran into the jack. Certainly moved the jack quite some distance off the centre line. And here is Bean, and this is going to be well short. You can see where it's been moved, literally a metre off that 2 metre mark. So no one's really got the shot. There's plenty of room here for Jeremy Brosnan, North Harbour representative. On his forehand, there's plenty of room. Finish on the scrim. You certainly got the shot, that's for sure. as we watch this bowler Brosnan's breaking in towards the scrim now, and that'll certainly be the shot. It's going to come all the way in behind the jack, and you'll see it, the whitey spotted bolt sitting there for shot, and the Paris Baker, logical thing for her, as indicated by Olivia Bloomfield, just follow that bowl up on the forehand. There's still a metre to draw the shot in. So watch this bowl of Baker's. So the jack's been moved off the 2 metre mark, and that's going to be 3 metres lower the jack. Plenty of room here now for Jeremy Brosnan to draw another one and certainly put the pressure right on the Olivia Bloomfield side for sure. You can see clearly where the jack sits, and there's a good bowl here of Brosnan's. There's a fantastic bowl, in fact, and sits alongside the jack. Olivia Bloomfield indicating to Paris Baker, need to get a bowl on the head, definitely 2 down. So I'm sure we'll see some attack to the jack by Bloomfield, but she needs to get a bowl close because they could easily drop a number here for sure. And it's going to sail into the ditch. So as the skips change over, it's Olivia Bloomfield leading 4-3. 4-3. And there's 2 down on the head as we play the 5th of the 15 ends. And see the panda sitting there behind the number. There's some, obviously someone's got a mascot they take with them. I could speculate who it belongs to, but I won't. So here is Taylor Horn on the forehand, holding 2 shots. See, listed as now out of Okato, which the Taranaki, whether that's it's moved to the Taranaki or not, I'm not sure. It goes into the ditch. Wasn't far away though. Weight wasn't too bad. So Bloomfield the forehand, 2 down on the head. Doesn't like it, walks away straight away. And I can see why, because playing a sort of in-between shot to the jack with weight, and you're always going to have an ineffective bowl. You try to steer the bowl to a target. So here's a great chance for Taylor Horn to add to the count. And don't think he's got the weight. He's got plenty of room, but he hasn't got the weight. So Bloomfield.
You could play for it if you want. Put it down.
Yep, Bloomfield has the call. You might have heard from Paris Baker. Go for the jack. What she's going to endeavour to do is Olivia Bloomfield. And on the backhand, running to the jack. And nothing. Another 2 to the Taylor Horn skip side. They now go to the lead, 5 shots to 4 after 5 of the 15 ends. In this afternoon, we'll be bringing you the final of the $20,000 10th Royal Oak Triples here at the Royal Oak Bowling Club in Auckland. Say perfect conditions, no wind, absolutely first-class conditions. Playing underway on Friday. 32 teams from around the country have made their way here to Royal Oak for this, the 10th running of this event. And as I say, there has been some very prestigious winners of this event over its 10 years. And some of those previous winners go right back to Sandra Keith, of course, former New Zealand player, was the inaugural winner. Richard Gervin in 2012 with his Australian side of Kevin Robinson and Brian Bateman. 2013, 2014, by the great Gary Lawson, and with all New Zealand players in those combinations. 2015, won by David Eads. 2016, Scott Cottrell. 2017, Graham Skillern. 2018, Ashley Jeffcoat. And 2019, Aidan Takarawa. And it's interesting, Ashley Jeffcoat, Aidan Takarawa, Graham Skillern, all made their way into the quarterfinals here for this, the 10th running of this event. So, at present, it's Catherine Bean holding the shot with her bowl just lower the jack, with the Taylor Horn side leading 5 shots to 4, 5-4 after 5 of the 15 ends. It's $20,000 event. And Jeremy Brosnan playing under the line, trying to get down to the shot bowl. Just going to be one bowl low of the jack. Winning side, the winning combination, the winning triples team, walks away with $7,500 in their back pocket to a very good Easter egg present. So well worth winning this event, that's for sure. So Olivia Bromfield trying to get all the Paris breakers to slow down. Only goes by a couple of metres. They're playing a far shorter length head than what they've been playing previously, for sure. So here's now Brosnan on the backhand. Just fell under that front bowl. Looks to be on a better line with this bowl. Taylor Horn's keen on this bowl as it breaks towards the heads. Going to sit on the bowl and get the jack. Perfectly weighted shot to get the trail of the jack. Just went by. Paris Baker now on her backhand. One down on the head, trailing 5-4 as we play the 6th end of 15 as the skips will change over. And well played by Paris Baker. Draws the shot, sits just lower, just behind the jack. Well weighted bowl, well played by the number 2. So as the skips change over, of course, a big thank you to the sponsors of this event. We can't have these events, of course, without sponsors. Those, of course, they're up on the screen there. There's a large number of sponsors, and they make sure that this event takes place. We can't have events without sponsors. Please always remember, support your sponsors, other people that make these events happen. So a big thank you to those sponsors for the Royal Oak $20,000 triples. So we see the bowl of Olivia Blomfield definitely going by with weight. Taylor Horn will certainly be attacking down that line to try and get to the shot bowl on the jack. Looks to be just under the line, needs a bit of luck, not going to get it. So Paris Baker indicating to Olivia Bloomfield, come past the front bowl and you can draw another counter. 5-4 to Taylor Horn as we come to the end of the 6th of 15 ends. And Olivia Bloomfield staying out that wider side, didn't want to touch the front bowl of Tony Granthams. So it's the 16 completed, and it'll be a 1 to the Olivia Bloomfield skip side. So we're all locked up at 5-all. 5-all after 6 of the 15 ends. So I can give you another update from around the greens, the Aidan Takarawa versus Danny Delaney game. Semi-final, it's Aidan Takarawa, previous winner of course. He's leading Danny Delaney by 6 shots to 4, 6 shots to 4 David Clark up against Ashley Jeffcoat. It was Ashley Jeffcoat, previous winner as well. It's all locked up there at 6-all, and in the other semi-final of the plate between Bart Robinson and David Akaroa, it is Bart Robinson that is leading 6 shots to 2. So Jack's been delivered at the start of the 7th end, and a far shorter end, and a good opening bowl from Catherine Bean. In fact, draws right on top of the Jack, only centimetres away from the Jack. Good opening bowl. Grantham, he's going to come lower, the Jack, trying to search under it to get to the Jack. Catherine Bean now with her second bowl, wanting to get another bowl on the head, put the pressure on the Taylor Horn side. This is going to come back towards the centre line, just depends how far we're going to run with the weight. Lower weight, we needed a metre of weight to get him behind there on that centre line, because the Taylor Horn side will be on that forehand side endeavouring to get to the Jack, sit the bowl, get to the Jack, and Tony Grantham's just going to slip by. He certainly had the weight to get the Jack. I'm sure now we'll see Paris Baker endeavour to get in between those bowls of Tony Grantham's on that backhand side. So here is Paris Baker. Look narrow out of the hand on that backhand side. Might run into their own shot bowl. No, it's just going to go by. It was certainly really had the right weight with the right line. So Jeremy Brosnan, he'll endeavour to search up on the forehand side, get to the shot bowl or the Jack. How far is this going to come back to the centre line? Going to go by, going to get the Jack. It just goes by. Will be second shot though on the centre line. And it's imperative now that the Olivia Broomfield side, they get a bowl in by over the head. At this stage, they've really got no effective bowls over the head if that Jack moves. So here's Paris Baker playing her second on this, the 7th of 15 ends. Certainly got it out on a wider line. This looks in a better, it's going to be in a better position should the Jack move. And it is. Mixes the bowls up, but Brosnan will still play that searching shot on the forehand. Just needs to turn the bowl over, get the Jack. So here is Brosnan. That's well under the line. It's not going to do any harm at all. And again, just that other semi-finals, the main event, Aidan Takara up against Danny Delaney, and it is the Aidan Takara side with Selena Smith and Nick Thompson, who is leading the Danny Delaney side of Danny Delaney, Joe Whitelaw, and David Motu. And it is Takara that's leading 6-4. And the David Clark side, it's the David Clark side of Shane Drabble is playing number 2. And Logan Clark leading. Watch this bowl of Olivia Bloomfield's going to sit right on top of the shot bowl. It's a very good bowl, really. Just remains a one bowl target. And the Jeffcoat side, Ashley Jeffcoat side, skipping with Kimberly Hemingway and Richard Hocking from the Burnside Club in Christchurch. And don't forget, in 2 weeks' time, talking about the Burnside Club, we'll be live from the Burnside Club in Christchurch as we bring you the finals of the National Interclub Sevens, which will be headquarters at the Burnside Bowling Club. And we'll be bringing live coverage of the Saturday and Sunday of the Burnside, from the Burnside Bowling Club in Christchurch. So here is Taylor Horn trying to get down to the jack, just going to feather off the slide off that front bowl, but not effective enough. A lot of instructions going on from the Olivia Bloomfield side. The shot's pretty obvious to get a bit of cover in on the backhand, which is what Olivia Bloomfield will be endeavouring to do, holding 2 shots. Though they were looking closely to see whether the second shot, in fact, was the second shot. And here's Bloomfield getting and gets down in amongst those bowls where the jack movement would likely to be. Very good bowl from Olivia Bloomfield. Taylor Horn making his way back, looking at the head, endeavour to get down as he did with his first bowl, to either sit on the shot bowl or get a trail on the jack. He looks quick and wide, and it is going to be, in fact, may well be 3 down. Just wait and see. No, just it looks like 2. So it's the Taylor putting the measure on those, so it could well be 3. Paris Baker with the measure. So I think they quickly decided in this the 7th end it was 3. It's Bloomfield now that's leading by 8 shots to 5. 8 shots to 5 after 7 of the 15 ends. Jack's been delivered by Catherine Bean. You can see the sun streaming down here at Royal Oak. So Olivia Bloomfield straightens the jack up. Catherine Bean now on her backhand.
Just make obvious. Oh, okay.
It's Tony Grantham quickly into his work. And a good opening bowl from Tony Grantham. Sits him behind the jack. Plenty of room though to draw the shot for sure for Catherine Bean. And just going to slide, lower the jack. In fact, finishes up jack level. So Tony Grantham endeavouring to draw another. Looks as though the weight's going to be a wee bit of the jack, and if we count though for sure, just sits alongside the jack. Was the Royal Oak Club nestled right underneath the mountain monument, Mangakiki, right in front of us here. And we see Paris Baker draw the shot on the backhand with her first. Always a very good weather beacon is Mangakiki Hill, which you can certainly know when the rain's coming or going. And Brosnan endeavouring to sit on the bowl, does, but just rolls by. In fact, sat on the Tony Grantham bowl. And it still is the Olivia Bromfield shot, the Paris Baker bowl, which is shot for sure. And Olivia Bromfield endeavouring to decide which hand to play. Paris Baker going to change her hand, draw on the forehand, draw past the short bowl of Catherine Beans and draw down through that port, with them leading 8-5. 8-5 after 7 ends, 7 of 15. 2 bowl triples with no time limit. Certainly looked under the line on that forehand side and is going to be under the line and disappears well outside their head. Needed to have another half a metre of width of green on that forehand side. So Jeremy Brosnan, he'll be endeavouring to sit the bowl, get a touch on the jack, because waiting just behind the jack is that of a Tony Grantham bowl, and the first bowl of Jeremy Brosnan's. How far is this going to come back? Not going to come back enough. Certainly played with quite a bit of weight down past the 2 metre mark. You can see the whitey coloured bowl and the spotted bowl of Tony Grantham sitting out there as well. So any touch on the jack certainly favour those bowls. So here is Olivia Bromfield on their forehand side. Endeavour to get some cover down there. In fact, is going to run into the Catherine Bean bowl. Doesn't really alter the shot for at all for Taylor Horn.
Come on, baby.
People just asking me what time we anticipate the final being. I'd say around 1:30. 2:15. The final will be live. For those people who are asking, have been online and asking me, 2:15 we'll have the live final action. So Olivia Bromfield still on that forehand side, endeavouring to get down. In fact, might get the jack here. Needs to be careful because she's got the jack. In fact, the back of the jack would have just gone to the Brosnan bowl. So I'm sure Taylor Horn will get down on that back end. Going to go quick on the drive, gets the bowl out. That'll leave him lane 1 for sure. Drove the bowl out. That'll be a 1 to Tony Grantham, Jeremy Brosnan and Taylor Horn. I'll just wait for the scoreboard to change to make sure it was just the 1. So Taylor Horn decided, rather than try and play that weighted shot, go the full drive, which he duly did, dislodge the shot bowl. So Tony Grantham is jack's been delivered. 3/4 length head. Grantham on the forehand. It's on a good line as it comes down towards the jack. It's going to sit literally right on top. In fact, draws a toucher. And it was just the 1. So 8-6. Tony Grantham with his opening bowl on this, the 8th end, has drawn a touch-up. So Catherine Bean now endeavouring to reach up to the bowl. Looks to be tracking on the wide side. And will go by. So Tony Grantham will endeavour to Draw another one close. Doesn't want to disturb it. Just open the gate up. And really has sort of opened the gate up. He wanted to get to the centre line. In fact, sits jack level. So there's two good rest there, especially with Catherine Bean's first bowl. In behind the head. So here now is Catherine Bean endeavouring to reach up. It's going to just miss it. Didn't have the weight to get to the ideal result. Needed to have another metre of weight. And just quickly round the boards now, I can tell you in the semi-finals of the main event, after 7 ends in the Danny Delaney Aiden Takarawa game, I can tell you that it's Danny Delaney with Delaney leading by 10 shots to 6. It's Danny Delaney with Joe Whitelaw and David Motu up against the side of Aiden Takarawa, Selena Smith and Nick Thompson, who really could be deemed the defending champions. It was not played last year because of COVID. And in the other semi-final, that is the David Clark, Shane Drabble and Logan Clark up against Ashley Jeffcoat, Richard Hocking and Kimberly Hemingway. It is all locked up 7 apiece, 7 all after 7 of the 15 ends. And in the other semi-final on the plate, it's Bart Robinson up against David Akarua, and I can tell you it is Robinson who is leading 11 shots to 2 after 8 ends. So here is Paris Baker just going to fall off of weight. The danger of playing just dead draw weight, and you finish up sitting on the centre line, which we just saw then, which makes that weighted shot that much harder. Definitely 2 shots to the Taylor Hornskip side. Bloomfield leading 8 shots to 6 after 8 of the 15 ends. So here is Jeremy Brosnan. He no doubt will play on this forehand, trying to get around behind the Grantham bolt and still count. It's exactly what he's endeavouring to do. Needs to get past his front bowl of Paris Breakers. In fact, falls short of it. Now that really now makes that line that much harder. It's only got a weight, a pretty heavy weight line now on the backhand through to the jack. And Olivia Bloomfield seems to be a bit in between. Not sure what shot to endeavour to play. And really asking Paris Baker to play now on her forehand to try and reach up to the shot bowl, get a touch on it, and to move the jack. It's on its way. This bowl of Paris Baker's trying to make some contact on the head. And it's going to slip by. Hard to attack the head. You've got a number of short bowls. And I'm sure the Bloomfield side realise that it's hard to get there. There's a very, very attractive run shot down through there. But now there's quite a few bowls to come through. We'll see what Bloomfield can do. Taylor Horn going to the backhand. Holding 2 shots. Gonna run into the Brosnan bowl, is it? No, it's not. It's going to sit right on top of the shot bowl. And it makes 3 of it. So definitely got to play with weight now. There's Olivia Bloomfield to get some contact with the 3 counting bowls. And you'll see that's Jeremy Brosnan and Tony Grantham, who've also got the bowls in behind the head. So here is Bloomfield on the backhand search. And that's way under the line. That's not going to do anything. So I'm sure now Taylor Horn, he'll draw again with confidence on the backhand, holding 3 shots. That's exactly what he's doing. 8-7 now. I can tell that Ashley Jeffcoat is leading David Clark. So just going by on the head, right on the 2 metre mark. So if the jack goes clean, back clean, still there's 3 shots of the Taylor Horn side sitting waiting. We'll see what Olivia Bloomfield on the back end. Again, seems to be going quicker. Looking at it, looks to be on the wide side, needs some luck, not going to get it. And just took out one of her own bowls. And that'll be a 3-2 Taylor Horn. And they now jump to the lead, 9-8, 9-8 after 9 of the 15 ends. So you can see there, Blue Skies is looking over the top of the clubhouse down towards Onehunga. So absolutely perfect conditions. And as I said to you before, the finals will be live on the Royal Oak YouTube channel at 2:15 this afternoon. We'll have the live action from the final, and of course we'll update you as well of the final result of the plate as well. So Jack's been delivered to meet it short of the 2 metre mark. Another good opening bowl by Tony Grantham. Going to sit right on top of the Jack. It does. Toucher. So now all of a sudden the Grantham side, Horn side with Tony Grantham getting the side off to a good start, is putting the pressure on the Olivia Bloomfield skip side. And this bowl of Catherine Beans is going to be well under the line. This is where the Olivia Bloomfield skip side need to get bowls on the head. That last particular end, they didn't have one bowl over the head, and the Taylor Horn side had three counting bowls and 3 bowls over the head as well. As we watch this second bowl of Tony Grantham's break down towards the centre line. Not quite going to get right back to the centre line, but certainly counting in a good position. This is the 10th end of 15. Catherine Bean now on her backhand. It's on a wider line, certainly on a bit of wider arc to the Jack, but is it going to come all the way back into second shot? It turns onto the bowl, turns the Grantham bowl, in fact, literally right under the centre line. So it'll definitely be 2 shots to the Taylor Horn combination. So here's now Jeremy Brosnan on his forehand. North Harbour player, North Harbour representative. Needs to get under the first bowl of Catherine Beans. Going to short. In fact, that's a poor bowl. Be disappointed with that because that's 2 metres short. And no obstruction there on that forehand side. So here again, see now Paris Baker trying to draw down to the shot bowl of Tony Grantham's, and Olivia Bloomfield's taking a keen interest in this bowl. That breaks towards the head. Got a touch on the Jack. Desperately unlucky. Still be 1 down, but got a touch on the Jack. Here's the chance for the side, the Taylor skip side. Brosnan can get a turn on the bowl or a touch on the Jack. Can certainly make a number of it for the Taylor Horn skip side when the skips change over. A lot of weight in it though. And I think Taylor Horn was actually quite happy, although he was given a bit of a clap. I think he was quite happy that it went by. It could have done more damage than good. So now Paris Baker will play her second bowl on this, the 10th of 15 ends. Trailing 9-8, 1 down on the head. And this bowl is going to hold up to the Jack. It's going to hold up to the Jack, gets the Jack clean, moves it, takes it right around the corner, down past the 2 metre mark. And that'll certainly make shot of it. That bowl of Paris Baker's well played for the World Under 25 Indoor Singles Champion. Got the Jack, moved it off the 2 metre mark. The Taylor Horn Not a lot of room to draw the shot. On the backhand is Taylor Horn. Jeremy Brosnan pretty keen on it. Breaks its way down towards the head now. This is a great attempt here from Taylor Horn. In fact, a superb bowl. A back toucher by the former New Zealand singles winner 2019. And of course, leading for him, Tony Grantham, also a New Zealand singles winner of years gone by. So Blomfield makes her way back to the mat as we come to the back end of the 10th end. Definitely Taylor Horn holding the shot. Picking, we'll see. Wait.
Up to you. You don't have to have a full go at it. Yeah. Just wait to stay on.
It's the one down. Needs to play with weight to reach the shot bowl. I'm not sure really what that shot is attempting to play. See in a moment, trying to get down to the Taylor Horn bowl. In fact, just got a rub on what was the second shot bowl. No damage done. Taylor Horn, he'll endeavour to a repeat of his first bowl in the finals day of the Royal Oak 2-bowl triples, the $20,000 Royal Oak triples. And a big thank you, of course, to all those sponsors who make this event possible. Now, this is going to go close to counting as well. This bowl of Taylor Horns finishes jack level. And now, sure, a lot of deliberation going on about what shot to play here. Got to reach with weight. Certainly can't draw the shot. And playing with weight on the backhand, trying to get some form of contact on the jack. She's close to getting the jack into the ditch, and does show. Well played, and well made two of that with that attacking shot of Olivia Blomfield, getting the jack, taking the jack into the ditch. Just waiting for that, just the one. So the board, in fact, it was more than that. So it's now 10-9 to, it was 2 all right to Olivia Blomfield. Takes them to 10. 10-9 now. After 10 of the 15 ends, Jack's been delivered a lot of a shorter end. And I can tell you in the Ashley Jeffcoat David Clark match, I can tell you it is now 8-7. 8-7 to Ashley Jeffcoat over David Clark after 8 of the 15 ends. And in the Selena, the Aidan Takara v Danny Delaney game, I can tell you it is Delaney who is leading 11 shots to 10. 11 shots to 10 after 9 of the 15 ends. And in the other match, the Bart Robinson, David Akarua semi-final of the plate, it is Bart Robinson that is leading that by 13 shots to 3. So here we are back on this, the 11th end, and it is Olivia Blomfield leading Taylor Horn by 10 shots to 9. And it is the Catherine Beanbolt behind the jack, which is definitely the shot. Good opening bowl from Catherine Bean. Paris Baker now play her forehand. Trying to add more to the count around the head for Catherine Bean, the Olivia Bloomfield skip side. And just to confirm those updates from the other matches in progress here, and it is definitely Danny Delaney leading Aiden Takara by 11 shots to 10, 11-10 after 9 ends. In the David Clark Ashley Jeffcoat game, it is Ashley Jeffcoat leading David Clark by 9 shots to 7, and in the other plate semi-final, it is Bart Robinson leading David Akarua by 13 shots to 3 in the 15N semi-finals. So, semi-final here, all very close, as Baker now play on her forehand. Catherine Beanbolt shot in her second bowl. In 11 of 15. And we saw, of course, Jack being slightly moved by Jeremy Brosnan, moving the Jack off the centre line, but going by and past the Jack by about a metre. So here's now Jeremy Brosnan endeavouring to make amends on his forehand, trailing 10-9. He's wide of the line with this bowl. Won't get all the way back. In fact, it might get a touch on the. It does get a touch on the Catherine Bean. Other bowl rolls that in closer to the head. And may well be 2 shots now being held by the Olivia Bloomfield skip side. 15 ends, no time limit, 2 bowl triples. As Olivia Bloomfield makes her way back to the mat. See there, absolutely perfect blue sky, no wind, absolutely perfect conditions here at the Royal Oak Club for this finals day. And we'll be live with the final this afternoon of the Royal Oak 20,000 triples. We'll have that live at 2:15 this afternoon. 15 ends of live action as we see this bowl of Olivia Bloomfield's now breaking towards the head. Is going to be the shot itself. Sits literally just the level of the jack. So as we play the 11th end, it's pretty important here that Taylor Horn can either reduce or get shot. Still room down there, that backhand side to draw. So he's made his way back to the mat. I can tell you in the Delaney match now, it is 12-10 to Danny Delaney over Aiden Takara after 10 of 15 ends. And here's Horn trying to get to their own bowl, turn it, get a couple of rolls of it into the head, doesn't do so, just went by, only by a centimetre. So Olivia Bloomfield able to draw another shot down on her forehand. Looks to be 3 shots from our angle here. Because the monitor can play tricks. This bowl will count. This bowl of Bloomfield's as it breaks towards the head. Big bowl here for Taylor Horn. Now I'm sure we're going to see backhand weight through there, get to the jack or the shot bowl. It's the line looked a wee bit narrow early on the head. Not going to need some luck here. Not going to get it. It's going to go by, get nothing. Big end here for the Olivia Bloomfield skip side. Looks like 4. And Taylor Horn's decided to walk off, is he? I know he's just having a nature break. Just make sure. Looked like 4 from Catherine Bean's indication. Just confirm that though. the board gets changed. Catherine Bean delivering the jack. of 15. See whether Olivia Bromfield are going to change the board now to confirm that for us. Changes the number but doesn't change the board. Changes the number of ends, but now board's going to be changed. And it was 4, as we thought. The last 2 ends has seen the Olivia Bromfield side pick up a 2 and a 4. Remembering at the end of the 9th end, it was Taylor Horn leading by 9 shots to 8, 9-8. Now, in fact, 14-9 to the Olivia Bromfield skip side. As we see the first bowler, Catherine Beans, is really lower the jack, as is the Tony Grantham bowl. There's a good meter there to draw close to the jack. And I just see a big change in the Ashley Jeffcoat David Clark semi-final of the main event. After 10 ends, I can tell you it is the team of Ashley Jeffcoat, Kimberly Hemingway, and Richard Hocking, who jumped out now to a 13-7 lead. 13-7. Must have picked up it was 9-7 a few moments ago. They must have on that 10th end, that 10th end, picked up a 4. So again, the bowl of Catherine Beans lower the jack. So this bowl of Tony Grantham's not going to finish on the centre line, going to finish jack level. Still good meter to draw the shot for Paris Baker on her backhand, leading 14-9 as we play in 12 of 15. And got the bowl out on a good arc, did Paris Baker. Young 25-year-old winner of the world under 25 singles representing Tonga. Just going to slightly lower the jack. Was on a good arc to the very good arc to the jack. Paris Baker out of the New Lynn Club, as we see. Jeremy Brosnan draws right to the jack, moves it off the 2-metre mark again, and brings the Tony Grantham bowl into the count. Definitely 2 shots to the Taylor Horn skip side on the backhand. Paris Baker endeavour to get the bowl close. Definitely 2 down is the Olivia Bromfield skip side. So the second bowl of Jeremy Brosnan just rolls into the ditch, definitely holding 2 as the skips change over. On this, the 12th end with Olivia Bromfield leading 14 shots to 9, 14-9. It's the side of Olivia Bromfield, Paris Baker and Catherine Bean. And they're playing the Taylor Horn skip side with Jeremy Brosnan at 2 and Tony Grantham. So Bromfield endeavouring to get second shot. Say so here is Olivia Bromfield of the Newland Club on the backhand, endeavouring to get that second shot. And that's going to fall
Yeah, cut it out.
a metre low. So Taylor Horn, object for him is to just get by the Jack Low bowl there of Paris Bakers, and he'll count, but looks as though he needs to get a bit of luck here and sit on something on the way through. Doesn't do so, and go all the way to the ditch. Couldn't make the bowl count. So here's Olivia Bloomfield now playing her last bowl on this, the 12th of 15 end. 2 down on the head, and certainly a better width with this bowl, but I don't think it's going to have the weight to get all the way. It will get second shot, though. It does. Sits on the shot bowl. Well played by Olivia Bloomfield. Definitely just the one shot to Taylor Horn. And here's Horn now on the backhand. Looks as though it's going to need a slide with a bit of luck. Not going to do so. And that'll just be the one. To the Taylor Horn script side. Jack's been delivered by Tony Grantham. 14-10 now after 12 of 15 ends. And Grantham delivering the Jack up towards the clubhouse. So on the forehand is Tony Grantham. And I can tell you another big change in the Delaney game. Danny Delaney up against Aidan Takara. Looks like a decent number just been picked up by Delaney. It's the board now 15-10, 15-10. Danny Delaney leading after 11 of 15 ends. So Catherine Bean now on the mat. Tony Grantham with a good opening bowl. So in both those semi-final of the main events, we've seen a couple of big scoring ends, which has made a big difference to those scoreboards after 11 of the 15 ends. Tony Grantham now on the forehand, holding the shot. Looks as though it's going to break under the centre line, and will do. And low of weight as well, sort of good couple of metres short of the Jack. So Catherine Bean now from St Heliers Club, endeavouring to draw to that Tony Grantham bowl on the forehand. Grantham bowl being shot. Looks to be on a good line. Just how far is it going to go? Got a touch on the Jack and moved it around the corner from the Grantham bowl, but it will still be Tony Grantham holding one. Green running around 16 seconds here. Jeremy Brosnan now, sure. Draw on the forehand. I think the safe side. Got at least a metre to draw another shot in. On its way is the Brosnan bowl. Just question how much weight it's got on the way through. Needs to be inside that Catherine Bean bowl. Going to go by the bowl. Going to go just by that bowl. And I can confirm that after 11 ends, it is Danny Delaney leading Aidan Takara by 15 shots to 10. Won the semi-finals in the main event. And Ashley Jeffcoat leading David Clark by 13 shots to 10. As we see Paris Baker get a touch on the Jack. Got the back of the Jack, and may well have turned the Catherine Bean bowl into shot. And the other plate semi-final, that between Bart Robinson and David Akaroa, which is now completed. And I can tell you that it was Bart Robinson, the winner, by 15 shots to 4. As we see the bowl of Jeremy Brosnan's, it's going to be wide on that backhand side and goes by. In fact, is it in? Having a look to see whether it's inside the line or not. Olivia Bloomfield now just indicating to Paris Baker. Just draw down there on the forehand. 14-10 as we play the 13th end. So here is Paris Baker on her backhand. Holding one would be the indication after that jack movement. The Catherine Bean bowl be shot. This in fact is going to just sit outside her own bowl as the skips change over. It's the 10th year of this $20,000 Royal Oak 2-bowl triples. 32 teams started this event on Friday. And on Friday they played 4 rounds of post-section play, of section play, round robin section play, and a further 3 rounds yesterday. And they found the top 8, which was the top 2 from each section. And they're playing, they played the quarterfinals this morning. And just quickly I can tell you, in those quarterfinals this morning, so just wait to see this bowler, Taylor Horns, daring to get shot, not going to do so. Aidan Takara defeated Graham Scullen by 15 shots to 8. Danny Delaney defeated Simon Poppleton by 11 to 10. Don Fafur went down to David Clark by 18 shots to 8. And Ashley Jeffcoat defeated Kevin Morris 18 shots to 10. And in the plate, Bart Robinson earlier on this morning defeated David Eads. David Akaroa defeated Martin Dixon. Tony Grantham or Taylor Horn defeated Jamie Hill, and Olivia Bloomfield defeated Tiro Tarua in the quarterfinals here of the Royal Oak 2-bowl triples. So you can see Taylor Horn daring to draw a shot to stay in the game. It's on a good line. Is it going to hold and fall in? Needs to fall in, I think, to make shot. Doesn't do so. Not sure who's got shot. To measure was the call from Paris Baker. And this is the 13th end with Bloomfield leading by 14 shots to 10. 14 shots to 10. So here is Olivia Bloomfield. Looks on a good line. So we'll draw the shot dead if it gets to the jack, and it does. Draws the shot dead. Does Olivia Bloomfield for sure. Definitely one. We'll see whether it's 2 or not. Putting the measure on. And in the Aidan Takarua Danny Delaney game, I can tell you that it is Delaney that has scored another 2. Now leading by 17 to 10. 17 to 10. Not sure who's got the shot here.
If you think it's 2, yeah, 2, mate. You're not going to lie to us, are you, Paris? We don't really care.
Definitely one shot. Just see what happened with that second on the measure. 13-10, Ashley Jeffcoat leading David Clark after 11 ends. Just the one. 15 shots to 10. 15-10 to Olivia Bloomfield skip side. That is the side of Olivia Bloomfield skipping with Paris Baker at number 2 and Catherine Bean leading up against the Taylor Horn skip side with Taylor Horn, Jeremy Brosnan playing at number 2 and Tony Grantham leading. Delaney, a very handy lead now over Aidan Takara. Delaney was of course the winner of this event. A local boy, New Zealand player. Of course, the 2019 winner is the Aidan Takarua side. And it's a number of years, really, since a local side has won this event. In fact, if we talk, it would be Scott Cottrell in 2016 with Frankie T and Rima Strickland the winners in 2016. So Danny Delaney endeavouring to follow that. 14-10 now, Ashley Jeffcoat leading. 14-10, Jeffcoat leading David Clark after 12 of the 15 ends. Good opening bowl here from Tony Grantham. You see just sat inside. Very well drawn bowl from Catherine Bean. Big thing for the Olivia Bloomfield side now in this semi-final is that you don't drop any big numbers. Ones are fine. And Tony Grantham trying to draw a second, and he is going to do just that. Draws just in behind the jack. Two good bowls from the now playing out of the Mount Albert club. And a great reply here from Paris Baker. Sits in between the shot bolt and second shot. Definitely only the one. Tony Grantham bolt sitting just in behind the shot, behind the jack. Certainly the shot bolt. And that bowl of Paris Breakers would certainly make second shot. So here is Jeremy Brosnan. The forehand. And 17-10, Danny Delaney leading Aidan Takara after 12 of 15 ends, and Ashley Jeffcoat leading David Clark 14 shots to 10 after 12 of 15 ends in the semi-final of the main event. And we've already had one plate winner found, that being Bart Robinson. And in this other semi-final of the plate, it is the Olivia Bloomfield skip side leading Taylor Horn by 15 to 10 as we play the 14th of 15 ends. So Brosnan playing down on that forehand, endeavouring to turn the bowl over, which is the bowl of Catherine Bean's bolt, trying to turn that through the head, make a couple, and need to score, I would say, a 3 on this end to have, say, a reasonable chance, of being going to the last end. Here is Brosnan now playing on that forehand and just going to go by with weight. Unfortunately, this game, Jeremy Brosnan has played a lot of bowls that have been on a very, very good line, but really just more than likely a metre too much weight with a number of his bowls, which has made it a challenge for Taylor Horn to be able to build the head, which you've got to do in 2-bowl triples. So the skips have changed over. Here is now Olivia Bloomfield. Doesn't need to do anything rash. It's going to go by. It's going to sit lower the jack. So Taylor Horn still looking at what shot he can play. This could be curtains. This could well be. Doesn't score on this end. This could be shake hands time. And I'd say the best option is to try, and that's the shot that Horn's now playing on the forehand, to try and reach down to the jack and get it clean through the port, and does so. And definitely one shot, plenty of room. Good 1.5 to 2 metres. You can see the jack sitting alive just under the number 3 there. So here is Olivia Bloomfield endeavouring to draw a shot on the backhand. Just question how far the weight's going to take it. There's a good bowl from Bloomfield for sure. It's a magnificent bowl. You see the jack's right to the end of the rink, and really makes it difficult now for Taylor Horn, great response there. After Taylor Horn moved the jack. Surveying the head is Jeremy Brosnan and Taylor Horn in this semi-final of the plate. Looks a fairly difficult challenge. Just to remind you, that is now 17-12, 17-12 after 13 ends. 17-12, it is Danny Delaney's side leading Aidan Takara, and 14-10 to Ashley Jeffcoat. So still looking at the head. It's the Taylor Horn skip side. I think this is a desperation shot they're trying to find to try and draw a couple of, to turn the head around and hold a couple of shots. So Horn makes his way back to the mat. Trying to reach down to the shot bowl, the jack on the forehand. Hard shot, shake hands time. Goes by, gets nothing. So we've just seen the side of Olivia Bloomfield skipping with Paris Baker at number 2 and Catherine Bean defeat the Taylor Horn skip side with Taylor Horn and Jeremy Brosnan at number 2 and Tony Grantham leading win their semi-final by 16 shots to 10. And the Bloomfield side this afternoon will play Bart Robinson in the final of the plate. In the final of the main event, the semi-finals are still underway, and I can tell you we've just had another change in the David Clark Jeffcoat game, and it is now David Clark who is leading that by 15 shots to 14 after 13 of the 15 ends. 15-14 to David Clark, and in the Danny Delaney versus Aidan Takarau game, after 13 of the 15 ends, it is Danny Delaney from the Royal Oak Club who is leading Aidan Takarau by 17 shots to 12. So we'll be back with you at 2:15 this afternoon when we'll bring you the live action, the final of the 10th Royal Oak Invitation Triples Tournament, the $20,000 Triples Tournament here at Royal Oak. Perfect conditions, and we look forward to bringing you that final at 2:15 this afternoon.